Open up to questions.
Well, Northwestern comes in, obviously, 2 games removed, or 1 game removed from their big home win against Illinois. And, based on how they performed, especially early in that first half against Michigan State, it tells you that the newfound emphasis that they have on their defensive intensity and attention to detail is going to come in here and present a challenge, not only to us, but, for the rest of the year in the Big Ten. These guys are focused on packing it in and causing, teams to have low field goal percentage on their offensive end, and, they're doing a good job of moving the basketball. They're dealing with a little bit of adversity with their starting point guard, Sobolewski, being out for the last couple games, but you never know whether he's going to be in or out on Saturday, but their focus seems to be at an all-time high. So we're looking forward to a good challenge on Saturday.
What is different when Cobb is running the point? I know it's not quite a natural position for him, but it's one he's been filling for them. What's different when he's in there, maybe directing the offense as opposed to Sobolewski?
I mean, he's been really impressive, handling the basketball. I think that Sobolewski's one of the leading assist guys in the league, so he does a good job of spreading the ball around. Cobb is someone who's always dangerous. So far that I've seen this year has been dangerous when he's had the ball in his hands. So that presents an additional challenge because he's not waiting on the basketball to get to his hands. I think that, Demps is still coming off the bench as instant offense for them. And obviously Crawford has been leading the team, all year long as the league's returning scorer. So I think Cobb has done a decent job of spreading the ball around, but, him with his ability to score, especially shooting jump shots off the dribble, and them having the ball, their early what we call drag screens, their early middle ball screens that they're running become a little bit more dangerous with him handling the basketball.
You mentioned them on defense. Just what do they do well, basically? What is it about them on defense that's been effective?
They're a very good help side defensive basketball team. They're a team that hopes to force teams and then relying on shooting from the perimeter. They've been packing it in, but more than packing it in, they've been doing a good job of playing without fouling. They'll get you, you'll get into the paint, and they'll wall up on you. They'll make sure that they are in defensive rebounding position. And, I'm sure in the tradition of what Coach Collins has been at Duke, they're a great defensive communicating team. So they've been doing a good job of helping each other out.
How just different are they with Collins, compared to what they're used to with Princeton, with the Princeton offense and DeCarmody and stuff like that? How vast of a difference is there between who they were last year and who they are now?
Yeah, I don't know if Coach Carmody gets as much credit as he should for the great coach that he is. And with any change in coaching style, there's going to be coaching staffs. There's going to be a little bit of difference in style. But if you study what Coach Collins does, you'll notice that there are a lot of the same principles. Within the offense, he may have different sets to take advantage of the different strengths he has in the team this year. He may run some pro-style stuff, but there's still a lot of the quote-unquote Princeton-style principles in his offense, whether it be the chin looks or whether it be the point stuff that they're doing. And if you look deep enough in our offense, you'll find some of those same principles. So, I think a little bit too much is made of the change in offensive flow. I think that they're just like with any time you're changing over coach staff, you're trying to get in, introduce your philosophies and principles, but I think he's still running good offense.
Can you see, maybe not just talking about the offense specifically, but a difference between the beginning of the season and now, just in terms of the comfort guys have and what is new at either end of the court? Because obviously they've had, they're deep in the Big Ten playing.
You talking about our team or their team?
Northwestern, just watching them kind of at the beginning of the season versus where they are now in terms of their comfort and sets and calls and things like that.
If you go back, it's a game-by-game thing. You're talking about they're playing a high-level competition. They've had some pretty tough non-conference games early in the season, and now getting into conference, it's a similar situation. I don't notice a huge difference in how they were playing early in the year to where they are now. There are sets that they're running, the things that they're doing. They have their principles, but they're constantly adding things as well. Not as though they're just running. They have a large playbook. I'll put it to you that way. So the way they're flowing into their things, they may be moving a little bit quicker. I think they're develop more chemistry where they know where they're going to be. I think they have a firm understanding of what Coach Collins wants them to do, and they know who they are. They've established their identity. I mean, Ola's probably one of the most improved players in the league. He was a talented player last year, but his productivity has gone up tremendously. He's becoming a consistent low post scoring threat for them. You know, the way they bring their shooters in off the bench, and now Abrahamson has been starting with Sobolewski out. That's presenting a challenge, and I think they're just starting to play well off each other.
What just stands out about you guys and the improvement that you made the last couple of games when you watch yourselves on film? You know, how have you seen this team get better in the last 2 games?
I think, you know, it's a work in progress. This team has always had great intentions. You know, and it starts with the leadership of Coach Crean. You know, if you come to I think a mark of a great coach is the consistency that he brings every single day in practice and in preparation. And you would never know if we, you know, from one day to the next, if we lost a game, we won a game. It's always the same common theme. We're trying to maximize ourselves out of the basketball team. So the things that, statistically, as an example, that you may see some improvements on, those have been the things we've been talking about from day one. You know, whether it be late spring, early summer, all the way through fall, you know, each game in the winter. You know, we're focused on making winning basketball plays. And, you know, you have a team that's relatively new playing together, and they're starting to grasp the emphasis that we're making on certain things. And you, I guess the proof is in the pudding. You're starting to see a little bit better execution. You're seeing guys that have already loved each other off the court that are now starting to love and each other on the court, and that chemistry is coming together. You know, we're just fighting for that common goal.
You know Stan really well, and I know obviously that at the beginning of the season, kind of the conditioning part of it, he needed to catch up because of the injury. I mean, just as someone who's watched him kind of develop for a long time, what is it about these last 3 or 4 games, really, especially Big Ten play, that it seems like, I don't know if the lights come on? I mean, what has made a difference for him to allow him to be so productive home, away, you know, against a team as good as Wisconsin?
Well, early in the year, you know, when he got injured on, what was that, Hoosier Hysteria, that set him back for a month, where not only with his conditioning, but with the fundamentals. I mean, we're just kind of like what I touched on. I mean, the things we've been working towards have started, you know, back in late spring. So anytime you have a player of his youth missing a month of time, you know, we didn't hit the pause button. You know, we've been moving forward. So he had to get up to speed with what we wanted to do through his reps, you know, and through his fundamentals. The one thing people don't talk about, I know we talk about Noah Vonleh and his age, you know, his 18th birthday on the 24th, and his stance was July the 11th. You know, so he's still a young basketball player physically as well, and the maturity that he needs. And he's got a world of potential, but he's got a long way to go. I think the success that he's had has a lot to do with, you know, him buying into the philosophy. His teammates doing a good job of using his skill set, but him also recognizing who he is currently as a basketball player, while he continues to try to develop and work as hard as he can every single day in practice. I mean, he's someone who has maintained a humble spirit and realizes that he has a long way to go, you know, in a lot of different areas to be as complete a basketball player as he could possibly be. But, you know, that competitiveness and the pride that he's taken in the program, I think, is what's led him to have some success, some tangible results on the court.
The fact that he's kind of grown up and you guys as a team been able to put 2 guards on the floor most of the time, how much do you think that's helped you guys in terms of just offensive cohesion and just direction and cutting down turnovers?
I think the cutting down turnovers has just been the guys kind of buying in to the emphasis that we've been making from day one. You know, I think we've been hard pressed to find a lineup where with 2 guards that I believe we have a team full of guards in the way we develop players and, you know, the mindset that we put into them. So I wouldn't say that the difference of having 2 guards, I mean, Evan's a guard, Will's a guard, Troy's a guard. I remember probably a day and time when Victor would have sat up here as a freshman, you would have said he's not a guard. I mean, so all the guys in our mind are guards because that's the way we work with them every single day. So, you know, I wouldn't necessarily put a lineup change, and, you know, I wouldn't give that credit for the reduction in turnovers because I believe that we have a team full of guys with, you know, a lot of versatility where we can have a multitude of different lineups and we would still want the same results.
How have you seen Austin develop since his injury coming back, and how hard has he worked to kind of develop or carve out the role he has now?
And that's ever changing. I mean, I think that the results you see in Austin perform is basically a philosophy of perform on demand. I think Austin has mentally been ready. He's been constantly working. I think that you have other players that you may not have seen have great results these last few games, and all of a sudden they can be the next guy up, next man up, next guy ready to perform. And that that versatility that we have in our lineup, but also that willingness to come to work every single day and prepare yourself is what has allowed guys like Jeff Howard to come in and perform. No matter what time, moment in the game, guys like Austin, you saw Devin Davis early in the season, you're seeing Stan perform now. I mean, these guys are working hard consistently every single day, and that's what it's all about. When you perform consistently well leading up to the weeks or days before a game, that generally tends to lead to performances, like you see from those guys. I mean, in the general public, or the media may not have access to what's going on in our practices, but as coaches, it's never a surprise when a guy goes in and performs. You're not, as you see coach walking up down the sidelines and us sitting there, you're not just pulling out the hat saying, I wonder if he can do it, if he's going to perform. I mean, everybody's there to win a basketball game and try to put the best product on the floor. And the way these guys performed in practices has led to their results. I mean, they do what they do in practice, and they do what they do after practice. We get our time that we're allowed to have during the week, and the amount of time that they're spending in the gym, and he's become a gym rat, a complete gym rat. I mean, he loves to work. He's there getting his extra shots. He's starting to study film, and the results have been shown.
Anything else for Kenny?
Coach said that, and I have to ask the question. Coach said he's been doing well on Tuesday. I mean, he said he's been working hard and doing well. I guess what kind of things has he been doing well that maybe have gotten him a little bit back on track from whatever knocked him off?
That's probably a better question for Coach Creams. I don't really know the context of. I wasn't here to find out what he may have been speaking on as far as the difference from day one to day two.
I guess he said he was just kind of getting his focus back where it needed to be, was what Coach said as well.
That's always a good thing.
Okay.
I want him to wake up right there.
Me?